if you were around, how you was, where you could be found. Told them you were living downtown, driving all the old men crazy. Shaking what you got. Man, when I tell you she was cool, she was red hot. I mean, she was steaming. You know that chick over at Johnny's place? Well, this chick got up and she slapped Johnny's face. Man, we just fell about the place. If that chick don't wanna know, forget her.
I admit that's a little heavy. I didn't really mean to play that. I meant to play another track. That was a wee bit heavy, all right, for 10:30. Even I think so. But that was obviously Phil Lynott and somebody else. I'm not quite sure. I really don't have no idea what that was. I didn't really mean to play that. But I mean, it was all right, wasn't it? Did you like that?
Well,
I liked it. Interesting juxtaposition of styles there, I thought.
Well, Emma and I were talking.
I know you were. You don't listen to this program. I could have died for all you two people know. Someday I'll die in here and you won't notice it. And people will ring up and you'll say, yes. Oh, Jerry has died. Really? You know, I think you should pay attention because it's very important at the start of the program because the start of the program sets the tone for the whole hour and a half. And you have no idea what kind of tone I'm setting. You have no idea. You're sitting there gossiping like all the women. Did you see the presidential?
That's what we were talking about.
Did you see the presidential debate?
I was telling Emma didn't see it, and I was telling her about it.
Down south, or as Martin McGuinness says, down here. Right. It wasn't great. So dirty. It was so dirty. When you think of Nick Clegg and Gordon Brown and David Cameron, pussies. They're like Sunday school teachers compared to these guys. They're calling each other crooks and murderers and everything. It was great. Did you see it live?
Well, yes.
That was good.
What do you mean? Why wouldn't I see it live?
Because a lot of people don't, because, you know, it's an RTE. And
but why wouldn't you see it live?
Because a lot of people don't watch that because they figure it's got nothing to do with them.
Yeah, but why?
It's down there.
Live.
You know, I'm just wondering. I'm just asking you if you watched it. Don't need to be so defensive.
I'm not being defensive.
You're being defensive.
I'm surprised that you're saying that you watch it live.
Yeah.
You mean you said to me? You mean you watched it live?
You could have watched it later on.
What?
You could have
it was
watched
over at 11:30.
No, but you could have watched it any time. You could have watched it this morning for all I know. You could have watched bits of it.
I haven't got a thing. I haven't got a thing.
Yes, you have a thing. Don't be so defensive.
I haven't got a recorder.
Learn to have ordinary conversation without getting your back up. For God's
sake. Do you
sake,
realise that now? I can't watch things that people record. You know, for you.
What?
Unless it's on DVD.
What are you talking about?
I don't know.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Because you're not listening. You have no idea what I'm talking about. That's why I'm just watching you.
I left
all
my pieces of paper upstairs. I had pieces of paper with important things. I left them all upstairs. Why didn't you tell me I'd got the wrong piece of paper with me?
You didn't. You're out talking to Janet at reception. Has Janet got them?
Look, I've not had to read now. I had stuff to read. I have to go up and get them now in a minute. But wasn't it dirty?
It's all
Isn't
right.
it really dirty?
It's good.
But that's what I call politics. See, people in England, they have no idea how to be dirty, down and dirty. I like the wee. No, we're not supposed to say who we like, do we? Yeah, we can't say that because we've no vote. I like the wee man, wee Higgins man. He's the only one that looks presidential. The rest of them look like hustlers. He's the only one who's got that gravitas. He's got. I would want to. I would. Have you ever been at Arsenic Terrain?
No.
Sorry, I thought you had. I've been there a number of times.
And you've been to Buckingham Palace?
Indeed, you have.
Yes,
Have you ever been to
around.
Buckingham? No, you went to Buckingham Palace. What time they wouldn't let you in? Wasn't that it?
I queued up.
Oh, I went in the back door.
Well, we ended up going around the back.
You done the front door with the punters?
We stood.
Did you have to pay?
Well,
Did you
we were willing to pay.
How much did you have to pay?
No, I don't know. I don't know what it was, but we queued.
I hope you don't think I'm joshing with you.
It was such a hot. Do you know what it's like a hot day in London? You know what? When London's hot, it is hot, and we queued, and people were dropping out of the queue, and people were running away. It was so warm, and we just couldn't stand any longer. But the queue was an estimated 2.5 hours before you
That's
would
the
get
difference
in.
between you and me, and I have to point this out for the benefit of the listeners. You were standing in the blazing sun to get into Buckingham Palace,
Yes.
to pay to get in, along with all the
Yes.
punters, and they're dropping like flies.
Yes.
They sent a car for me.
You see.
That's the difference.
I know.
You know, I don't know if I should bring that up or not. I'm just trying to demonstrate the stark difference in approaches there.
And then we walk around
Did you
the
meet the
back.
Queen?
We walk around the back of Buckingham Palace.
I talked
You
to
see
the Queen
the
for
back.
ages.
See the back of it.
Well, that's where I go in. I go in the
nice.
back. Yeah, in the garden, through the garden.
Some little shops there
Indeed.
for a lot of rich people.
Yeah, there's
You know,
specialty
big
shops.
check shirts, or the Van Hoosen shirts, or
You can get Van Hoosen shirts anywhere.
But these were the real. These were the real.
Sure,
real
you know, you
before.
never go into shops.
I was looking at the
What do
shops.
you
I was
know?
looking at the shops.
But you would see things there you'd never seen before. Because you wouldn't look at any of the ordinary
And you would
shops.
look at the
You get
shoes.
Van Hoosen shops in Primark, for God's sake.
no,
Primark.
no. Van
Yes, you
Hoosen.
can.
Van Hoosen is a very exclusive.
You
shirt.
get Van Hoosen shirts anywhere.
Yes, there's different
You
quality.
don't know because you don't be in shops. You don't know anything about clothes. You don't be in shops. You don't even know what's a pint of milk.
I'm coming back to the shirts. How much is a pint of milk?
Yeah.
I would say for a pint, an ordinary.
A
bottle.
litre.
Wait a minute, a litre. It's
The half size. The big one.
a
Not the wee tiny
Wait
one.
a
the other
minute
one.
now. Is it the one that my boy leaves at your door?
No.
What? A
You
bigger
see, you
boy?
don't even know what it looks
A
like.
bigger boy than that.
A bigger boy than that.
So it's nearly a quart of milk.
Yeah, it would be, yeah.
I would say I would pay for a quart of milk. I would pay £2.23.
80p. You know nothing. You know nothing. 80p
well-
for a quart of milk.
well-
No wonder Emma's giggling there. You're out of touch completely. Talking about Van Hoosen shirts.
Van Hoosen make very expensive shirts.
They make shirts, but you can get them anywhere, for God's
They
sake.
they also make very expensive shirts. And then they make ordinary tiny shirts.
I don't know. I wouldn't wear them anyway because they're not
They're-
fashionable enough for me.
They're the check shirts that the guy that the what do you call him, the MP is interviewed on a Sunday morning outside his house with his paper under his arm and his open neck Van Hoosen shirt.
That's all horrible.
Yes.
Big old man shirts.
That's exactly what they are, but that's what these shops round the back of Buckingham Palace were selling. That's
I know,
what I'm
but you see
telling you. I was only trying to paint a picture of the shops
Country
and
style.
very expensive shoes.
Country life.
Yes.
Country life, yeah.
And you say, look at the
Big brown
price
shoes with holes in
Look
them.
at the price of those shoes.
I know you can get them anywhere. See, I'm on the cutting edge of fashion. You seem to realise that.
Mm-hmm.
Hanging up to get me pieces of paper. Look, I can't go on here. I've nothing to talk
Well,
about.
could you? Hello.
Could you? Hello. Yes.
Could you talk to Brian from?
This is holding me back. Good morning, Brian.
Jerry Anderson,
Yes, indeed. How are you?
McGrory's won't be the same. Will I tell you something?
Yes.
You have murdered a poor creator just because you owe him money from Dublin years ago and he's no longer with us, no longer here.
Who's this?
Linnet,
Phil Lynott. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to play
talk
that.
about holding a grudge.
I didn't mean to play that. That came out by accident. I meant to play that funky white boy.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
I know I am. I didn't mean to play it because I don't like that. It's too.
One of the most, what's the word of our generation? He's only
Iconic.
been recognised after his death for his pure and utter genius.
Iconic, yeah. Iconic. I know. I admit it. I didn't like it either.
You were jealous of him just because you were a crap bass player. Tell the truth.
I was not a crap bass player. He admired me as a bass player. He admired my skill.
No, he didn't. He told you that to your face, but he still took the money off you in a bar.
He admired my finger work.
I'll tell you
no.
one thing, you could never keep up with his.
Well, he was never a bass player. He only became a bass player out of
Yes.
because he was unemployed.
Poor old Brush or whoever it was that taught him.
That's right. I met the man the other day who gave him his bass. His
Who,
first
Phil
bass.
Lynott?
Yeah. No. The man who gave Phil Lynott his first bass. He's a well-known artist called Robert Bella.
Robert, that's right.
I met him in a lift in the Europa Hotel on Saturday.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you were running about letting on you were... yes, well, we'll not say what you were at the weekend.
When he left, when Robert Bella left the band, I replaced him.
That's right.
You didn't know that, did you?
Well, I didn't actually know, but sure.
No, when he left the band, he decided to become an artist. He was in a band in Dublin, so he decided to pack in the music and become an artist. And he's now one of the most famous artists in Ireland, basically.
Let me guess, he's living down near the Killiney Castle, is he, out in
Funnily
Dalkey?
enough, he's in that area.
Yes.
And when he left, he decided that he didn't want to be in a band anymore, so he knew Phil Lynott slightly, so he gave Phil Lynott his bass.
Right.
And Phil Lynott started to learn it, and then when he left the band, I took his place in the band, and I brought my own bass. And I used to play with Phil Lynott as well.
What was it, a Fender?
It was Fender
Fender
Jazzmaster.
Oh, very good.
Yeah,
very
that was
good.
it. So stop trying to catch me out.
Listen, will I tell you something? Go away. There's two guys here. We were plastering in a house here, okay, in the middle of Belfast. We're down from near McGrory's, neck of the woods, okay?
Yes.
You have to make this up big time today before you go home, okay?
Okay, I'll do the best I can because I know I've done wrong.
Get the original
All right.
and play it.
Will you show?
And
Can
let
you
the
get
people
that?
know.
Boys are back in town.
Yes, or anything that you can think without ruining it now.
I'll try and make it up to you.
Okay.
All right, then I promise.
The next time you're seen in Donegal, just watch your back, okay?
Okay, I know I'm a marked man. Okay, thank you.
Jerry, nice talking to you again.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
A lady writes to me and she said, Rhys Evans, you know Rhys Evans?
There's another call for you, by the way.
The actor was on Daybreak this morning talking about his film Anonymous, which I'm going to see shortly. He said that we'll never know the truth, but it is alleged that Shakespeare did not actually write the plays that Shakespeare wrote. It may well have been Christopher Marlowe or Francis Bacon or William of Stratford-upon-Avon. So what Rhys Evans said was, suffice to say, we've thrown a spanner into complete works. Did you get that? Thrown a spanner into complete works. Did you get that one?
It's very funny.
It's very funny.
What about Judith?
There's a dog here lost. Don't you understand that Judith comes second? I write in hope that through your morning radio show... That's very loud today.
Emma, yeah.
That mic's too close to her. Where's that?
It's way over. Emma's way over in the corner.
Well, why doesn't you just shut up? I write in the hope that through your morning show we can help return a little dog called Molly to her owner. Molly's owner, Tony, is at present in hospital, having had a left ventricular assist device called an LVAD, known as Levada, fitted. This is a temporary life-saving measure while he awaits a heart transplant.
Oh dear.
Molly was being looked after by Tony's father-in-law, Paddy. On Saturday past at approximately 11:45, as Pat answered a knock on his front door, Molly got out of the house in the Ann Street area of Dungannon and has not been seen since. She's a miniature Yorkshire Terrier. She has a tan head, almost like yourself, a grey and black coat and brown legs. She's a tan head, grey and black coat and brown legs. She was wearing a diamante studded grey leather collar, not too many of them about, and an orange identity disc. It's Protestant, you see. The identity disc is 13, the number 13. There'll be a reward for her safe return. So there we are. Keep your eye out for that. In Dungannon, a grey and black coat, a Yorkshire Terrier, miniature tiny thing, tan head, diamante grey leather collar, and an orange identity disc, number 13. We'll have that back in 2 shakes of a pomegranate.
Put a time on it. Will we have that dog returned by
half 11?
Half 11, okay.
I would say half 11.
All right, we'll see.
I would say so.
All right.
Is there someone on the line?
Judith.
Here, did you say? Where is she?
Two.
Do you know the internet is great? Do you know what I was offered this morning?
What were you doing on the internet this morning?
I saw what you were doing anyway.
What was I doing?
You were looking at that woman being hoovered.
Oh, I thought I laughed at that.
I know, that's what you'd be doing.
Did
Emma,
you
do you know what he was doing in the morning? He was watching a
Aye.
woman being hoovered.
Aye.
I went over and I thought he was looking at porn. I was close enough. You need to watch yourself.
It's a scary tale for you've spoiled the end of it.
I know, it's all
It's a
right.
scary tale for Halloween.
I don't want you to be watching any stuff like that again. I was offered a 15-foot long remote-controlled shark for $19.99. Do you think I should get it? Do you think I should get it? Yeah, a 15-foot remote-controlled
What would you
shark
do
for
with
$19.99. That's what I was wondering. What would you do with that? Oh, sorry, it's 5 foot long. No, not 15. Sorry, it's 5 foot long.
No,
Hello,
you
good
do
morning.
that.
The internet's
Hello.
a wonderful thing. You can get nearly anything. Hello.
Hello.
No need to shout. Don't be...
sorry.
It's all right. Just talk normally like a normal person. How are you?
Oh, I'm not quite that. Well, I'm speaking on behalf of my daughter who's too nervous to speak to you.
Yes, okay.
So she was hoping the listeners could help her.
Mm-hmm.
She has lost a purse.
Oh, dear.
And but the reason that she's upset about it is that she was in Cambodia this summer building houses for people.
Good girl, yes.
And with Habitat.
Right.
And the lady that she built the house for made her this purse
Yes.
as a gift.
A Cambodian lady?
A Cambodian lady.
Yes.
And she, her team made her this house and gave it to her, and she made them a little purse each.
Yes.
And this was what Helen was using, and she's lost it.
And where did she lose it, I wonder?
Newtonards.
Well, you see, there's not too many Cambodian purses in Newtonards.
No. It's a lovely sort of gold and green purse. It's all embroidered. It's beautifully made. You wouldn't believe it was handmade.
Well, you see, that's the very thing. You see, the handmade things are much nicer than things that are machine made.
Oh, definitely.
Or factory made.
And it's, it was a lifetime experience to go across there. And, it was so wonderful that this lady had actually, who is so little, had made them all this little gift.
All right, then.
And then she lost it.
Ah, well, you see, was there drink involved?
No, not even any drink involved. She was just down at Pound Stretcher.
Cheapskate. All right, then we'll keep
Well, it didn't turn out to be that, but she was in the shopping centre in Newtonards, but then she went to Pound Stretcher round the corner, and that's the last she knew she had it.
All right, then. Okay, so a very distinctive looking wee purse.
It is.
Multicoloured.
Well, no more green and gold.
Well, that's multicoloured. That's
Well, that's more than one colour, you're
two
right.
colours. Don't be so picky. All right, then. So what would be somewhere in the vicinity of where again?
Newtonards.
Newtonards, yeah.
Round the shopping centre direction.
All right, then anyone who finds that very big sentimental value.
Yes, that's what it's all about.
So give us a ring here at 08459 555 678. That's a person we have to get to, and a wee dog. That's our goal for today. Right, thank you.
Thank you. Righto, bye-bye.
You see, we've got the wee dog already.
No, we haven't.
Well, why did you just say it was spotted?
It's spotted, but we haven't got it yet. It was spotted 10 minutes ago in Irish Street in Dungannon.
Well, how far could he have gone since?
Well, I don't know. So he's in the Irish Street area. All right. I found a wallet on Saturday night.
Did you? Much was in it?
I don't know.
Did you not count it? It's not like you.
No,
Did you look in it?
I did
But
momentarily.
you had to see what the identity of the
No,
person was.
that's why I opened it. I went into the club. You see, I was taking off my coat and was putting my coat up in a little
What, like strip club? What was it?
the Derry City Club, and
Oh,
I was putting my coat down this little ledge, and there in a little sort of vent was this black wallet.
And you went,
And I
happy days.
and I says, "There's a wallet." So I put my coat down and I picked up the wallet. And then I opened the wallet and I saw a lot of cards inside it. And
No, do you know you don't know you don't know the procedure?
No, you see,
when
this-
You find a wallet, when you find a wallet, you run to the toilet.
no,
And
I
you
see,
lock
and I
yourself
said,
in.
and I'm standing there in this corner on my own in the club, and I says, "I'm looking at the man's wallet. If this man comes in now,
That's why you should have ran to the toilet and locked
if
yourself
this man
in
comes
one
in now, I
cubicle.
think I'm going through his wallet." So I immediately said to the barman, I shouted over, I said, "Anyone lose a wallet?" You see?
Covering yourself.
I've got because then you see, and he says, "Oh, I know who was sitting there." He says, "Yes," and he told me the gentleman's name. So I gave him the wallet. I said, "Well, there you are. Look, when you go through it and see if there's a telephone number in it, and give him a ring, because he'd be going frantic looking for them. It's better a barman looking through the wallet because everyone's watching him. But if me's boy standing in the corner looking through a wallet, and the guy walks in and says, 'That's my wallet. What are you doing?'"
Now
You
listen
know?
to me.
Yes.
I want to tell you the procedure, the well-known procedure that everyone knows except you. What happens when you find a wallet? What happens when you find a wallet? You pretend it's your own, then put it in your pocket.
You do not.
No, I'm telling you what you do. You don't. You see, you're too straight. What you do is you go straight to the toilet. You go into your cuticle, and you lock yourself in, right? And you take down your trousers because if anybody looks under, you look as if you're doing something. And then you take the wallet out and you see how much money's in it.
Right.
And if there's no money in it at all, you pull out your trousers and go out and leave it back where you got it. If there's money in it, you take the money out and leave the wallet beside.
Oh no, that's
You try and
terrible.
flush it down the toilet.
You do not.
Yes, you do. That's
you
what
give
I
it
do.
straight to the barman. You,
see,
say, "Look,
you're too good.
you call."
What a bar? What a barman? I mean, pillars of virtue.
But, well, he knows it, and everyone knows that.
he got it, yeah.
I gave it to him.
All
You
right
see,
then.
and fair to play to him, he went out after the street looking for the guy.
I'm gonna
But didn't get.
I'm going to
I
teach
mean,
you.
it's not often you find a wallet.
I find them all the time. I think I'll have to teach you to be more crooked. How are you expected to ever make money, giving wallets back?
Did you ever get any tips about the wood chip?
What?
You announced yesterday on the programme a lady's looking how to get rid of wood chip. We know the wallpaper.
I didn't mention anything about wood chip wallpaper yesterday.
Well, she phoned in yesterday looking for what's the best way to remove it.
Well, I'm glad you didn't tell me.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't know.
What seems to be the problem?
What's the best way to get it off the wall?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
What's the best way to get wood chip
Wood
off
chip,
a wall?
yeah.
You're asking me? Why would I know?
The steamer, buy a steamer.
Buy a steamer. Yeah, right.
Is that the best?
Yeah, I think so. That might keep her quiet. Does that keep her quiet if you ask her to buy a steamer? What is a steamer? A boat? What is it? A steamer? What is a steamer?
A steamer. I use one.
Like a steamer?
Did you ever? You never used a steamer.
I don't know what a steamer
It's a
is.
terrible experience. So
What is it?
It's you take for removing wallpaper.
Oh, stop.
Yeah, I know what you have to do.
What?
You have to take practically all your clothes off, just your football shorts. Keep your football shorts on.
Keep your football shorts on. That means you have them on already.
No, but you change. You would change. You know where normally a man would have his overalls on.
No, I wouldn't have my overalls on.
No, neither would I. But there's certain men who can't do anything unless they put on. You know the boy with the power wash. You know the guy with the power wash. He goes out to do his drive. He has to put on his overalls and his water boots and his gloves. Some of them even wear goggles.
I think you mean Wellingtons when you say water boots.
Right.
Just translating.
Wellies.
Yeah, I'm just translating for the benefit of the people who don't know what a water boot is.
All right then. Right, you know that guy. Well, it's that same guy. If he was doing a bit of painting,
He'd have his football shorts on.
he would have on his overalls,
Would he?
or else he would have painting trousers. Some men have painting trousers and a painting shirt.
Well, you know what they say about the Painters Radio. Dear Saint and Greavesy, fat blokes in football tops must be a primitive tribal thing, I'd have thought, but at the risk of being lynched, I've also noticed that a bloke wearing a football top usually has an IQ roughly matching the number on his back. Although nowadays, some of them go all the way to 22. I was in a pub the other week when there was a Liverpool-Chelsea match on the big screen, but I had to leave because the atmosphere and the foul abuse hurled at the referee was really nasty, and I'm not squeamish. The worst thing was that all these guys who were screaming at the TV, this horrible filth, had their wee sons with them. The next generation of tubes, I thought. I must confess here to being a rugby fan, sorry about that. But when my daughter bought me an Ulster top for Christmas, I tried it on. But I just looked stupid. And I don't even have a beer belly to counteract it. So I gave it away to a friend's son who still plays the game. And another thing, these English teams are full of Spaniards and French and foreign players. So Irish blokes wearing football tops are supporting English teams full of foreign players, mostly coached by foreign managers and paid for by Middle East potentates, oil sheiks or Russian criminals. Sorry, oligarchs. I just don't get it. Neither do I.
Did you see, there's a call there for you. Did you see Big Hansen on? Did you hear Alan Hansen talking about Manchester United?
No, what did he say?
He was saying, you know way he sits back in the chair.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. It always starts with, I'll tell you what. Yeah, I'll tell you what. If you ask me, I mean, Gary Lineker's just asked him a question. What do you think? What will United do? What will Sir Alex Ferguson do now with the players? Alan, I'll tell you what. If you ask me, I'll tell you what. And it's goes on. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what they need now. They need passion. They need commitment. They need determination. Above all, I'll tell you what. If you ask me, above all, I'll tell you what they need now. They need to play for the jersey. Those guys got to go out and play for the jersey. I'll tell you what. If you ask me, that's what I'd say. If you ask me, I'll tell you what.
You mentioned the onion bag at all?
Yeah, he didn't mention the onion, but no, you got to play for the jersey. You know what I mean? When we were playing, Gary, hey, come on. Hey, when we were playing, it's passion. Where's the commitment? There's no commitment. Look at the tracking back. I mean, hey, come on. Hey, he has me. I know what I mean, like, I'll tell you why.
the devil in disguise. He knows how to no one's complaining, they don't criticize. I guess you could call them his victims of love. He tries to keep them from the man up above. Don't ask me no questions and I'll tell you no lies. Better warn the ladies, he's a devil in disguise. Ask me no questions and I'll tell you no lies.
That's a band from Ballymena called the Mighty Mojos, and that's a track called Devil in Disguise. And I have to say, and I'm sure you'll agree with me, Mr. Coyle, being a member of the programme, even though you take no interest in it, we've had a great reaction to that song, and I've invited the guys to come in and do a live session before Christmas. So it'll be nice to be the first straightforward rock and roll band we've had in here. Of course, you're never there because you can't stand that kind of music. See why I just say that, and I don't mean it. Here, you have to try and... here's a poem by Seamus Heaney, which I don't understand. Have you any idea what this is?
Will you have time for it?
Yes, I have. It's very short. Diminutive William appears to have mislaid, and indeed misplaced, his spherical glass toy in the vicinity of the Linfield thoroughfare. Will I repeat that?
Yeah, please do.
Diminutive William appears to have mislaid and indeed misplaced his spherical glass toy in the vicinity of the Linfield thoroughfare. Please send check and trophy to the following address. I don't get that. Do you get that?
No.
That's something to ponder during the news. Maybe Emma, Emma, what do you call her? I called you Emily there. Maybe we'll get that during the course of the news. A spherical glass in the vicinity of the Linfield thoroughfare. That's a little riddle. Riddle me ree.
On 92 to 95 FM
and 1341 medium wave.
This is BBC Radio Ulster.
With the BBC News at 11 o'clock, I'm Kerry Martin. Families in some parts of Tyrone are returning home to assess the damage done by overnight flooding. In Beara, a specialist fire service unit used boats to rescue 18 families from rising water. Ulster Unionist councillor Bert Wilson spent much of the night helping residents. He says homes were flooded that have never before been affected.
A family called me down to the house and they handed me a child about a year old out of the window. They were so afraid. It was really scary. I went in on a handler into one house that was out in the middle of just like a pure lake. The people just didn't want to leave. They stayed on, and they say they were sitting in water and their furniture and everything floating around them. And it's serious. It's long past time that there was something done about it.
Search teams are trying to locate a missing Garda in County Wicklow, have found a body close to the location where he was swept into the River Liffey. Jennifer O'Leary reports from Dublin.
Garda Kieran Jones was off duty when rising waters threatened to collapse a bridge near his County Wicklow home last night. The 25-year-old left the safety of his own car to warn other motorists of the dangers, but he was swept away by floodwater. A major search and rescue operation was immediately launched. This morning the body of a man was recovered close to the scene. It comes as travel chaos continues across Dublin City, with many key routes barely passable and further rainfall due later this afternoon.
Police say they've seized cannabis worth £40,000 in Armagh. It follows searches at Achanor Road. 4 men have been arrested. Rescue teams are continuing to sift through the rubble of buildings after the earthquake which struck eastern Turkey on Sunday. At least 366 people are known to have died, but scores are missing because more than 2,000 buildings have been damaged. The BBC's correspondent Tim Wilcox has been watching the search outside a block of flats in the worst hit town of Erdish.
In the middle of the night at about 3 in the morning here, 3:30 in the morning, they found a family of 4, a mother and her 3 daughters, the mother in her 30s, the youngest daughter, a 1-year-old baby girl. 22 families lived in this apartment building here. Potentially, there's another 50 or 60 bodies to be found.
Sport now. Here's Michael McNamee.
Former Leicester City striker Steve Claridge thinks it's possible that Martin O'Neill might return to the club as manager. O'Neill is the early favourite to succeed Sven-Göran Eriksson, who left the job last night. Allegations that Chelsea captain John Terry racially abused QPR defender Anton Ferdinand on Sunday are being assessed by the police after a complaint from a member of the public. Terry categorically denies the claim. Manchester United fringe players Michael Owen, Dimitar Berbatov, Antonio Valencia and Michael Carrick could all feature tonight in the League Cup trip to Aldershot Town. And India's batsmen have made a confident start to the final one-day international against England in Calcutta. A short while ago, India were 61 without loss in the 14th over.
Now with the weather, here's Elizabeth Austin.
In the middle of the night at about...
It will turn wet later on this morning for more western parts. Another 20 millimetres of rain expected here through County Fermanagh into County Tyrone as well. Perhaps just the odd rumble of thunder or two as well. Further east though, a drier picture. We're looking at highs of 12 Celsius. Into this evening, it will turn mostly dry with the chance of 1 or 2 coastal showers. We'll see plenty of clear spells around and lows of 6 degrees Celsius.
BBC News.
BBC Radio Ulster. Travel news.
Flooding is still causing major problems across Northern Ireland, particularly in County Tyrone, with many roads around Dunnamana, Strabane, Newtonstewart and Beara remaining closed. In Omagh, Sedan Avenue has been closed at Abbey Bridge because of high river levels. Also in the town, the Edenderry Road, the Gortnagarn Road, the Crevner Road and Taddyray Road are all closed, and the Drumlega Road South is flooded at its junction with the Beltony Road. That will affect motorists travelling between Omagh and Newtonstewart. In Mahara, the Glen Road remains closed as part of the road has collapsed, but a full list of all closures and flooding problems can be found on trafficwatchni.com and just click on the Winter Service and Emergency News section. Fog is also causing some problems around Dungannon, particularly on the M1, so please take extra care there. And finally, public transport and passengers using the Enterprise train between Dublin and Belfast are being delayed up to an hour. That's because of speed restrictions on the railway line because of flooding. Aileen Morna reporting.
Travel news on BBC Radio Ulster.
On Talkback with Wendy Austin today, after the deluge, we'll be hearing from people in Beara trying to sort out the mess of their flooded homes. Will they be able to claim an insurance? Were you in the same boat? Literally, perhaps. Call in today. It's chaos in Dublin still. Emergency plan in operation. We'll have the latest on the flooding there. Also in Dublin, that check. Is it the smoking gun? As if the Irish presidential election could get any more bizarre. Could Sean Gallagher's bid for the Aras be scuppered? And...
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas.
Oh, for heaven's sake, are you sick of Christmas already? Michael Bublé's got his Christmas hits out, and Ballymena's already got its tree up. It's not even Halloween yet. Join the debate on Talkback at 12.
Thank you, Wendy, for that snatch of Michael Bubble. Sean Gallagher, I have a suspicion, I may be guessing here, he may have played rugby at some stage in his career. Woodchip, don't use a steamer. Are you listening here?
I am.
Pull as much of the paper off by hand and what's left, brush lots off with warm water. The remaining will scrape off very easily. You never knew that, did you?
You can't pull it off by hand.
Pull as much of the paper off by hand, then what's left, brush with lots of warm water. The remaining will scrape off very easily, says Andy in Lisbon. He said that's a trade secret. The knowledge is possessed by only trained decorators, and he's passed it on to us. Hi, Turkey Neck. Can you play one of your mashups? Of course I can. Very loud. It's rock and roll. It's meant to be loud. But haven't you heard the word today? Guess who's coming by today?
I feel like I've been locked up tight for a century.
play enough bits and the boys are back in town, we'll eventually play the whole thing.
Loving and affection.
Oh yeah. Well, if I knock on the door, you gotta let me in. And if I tap on the window, even if it's 10, I wanna hip hop all night. You know how old Boo with Paul Mac and Lulu shouting at the new school, bringing in the new grooves for students that were tardy. So if I ring your bell, it's 'cause we're having a party outside. It's getting party. So let me ring. I'm all in, make it an inside thing.
That's Lulu, of course, and Paul McCartney, and that's a song called, I never know what that's called, of course, it's let me in, but it's called something else. It's called Inside, yeah, all right.
All right, Tony, Inside Thing from an album called
Chance.
Together.
You think I am instant recall? I have too many things to do here.
I know.
The album was called what?
Together.
Together. Before that, there was a mashup, which will infuriate the man who I was talking to. But we're playing bits of The Boys Are Back in Town as we go along. That was called Thin Genie. Boys Are Back in the Bottle. It's called The Boys Are Back in Town, Thin Lizzy, with Christina Aguilera, a song called Genie in a Bottle. That would, of course, be instantly recognisable to many of you Christina Aguilera fans. Your playing of Thin Lizzy reminds me of Gary Moore, who sadly died this year. I'm surprised he didn't die years ago. The first line in this song, Still Got the Blues, is, I used to be so wheezy. I never got on with Gary Moore. Me and him never hit it off from the very, very start. When I first met him in Dublin about 1967, we just never, ever got on. Never. Do you remember one time he was on the Nolan show? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah,
and,
vaguely.
No, do you remember? And Nolan was talking to him at the end of the show, and then he said, you know Jerry, of course, and he wasn't nice to me. But I mean, I understood that. He's gone now, but I just never got on with him. No point in telling a lie. Jerry, a gentleman says, why am I talking about this? You're saying, it just occurred to me that I just thought I'd make that clear.
Yeah.
You're not speaking ill of the dead or anything.
No,
but I think it's important. You may as well tell the truth.
Yeah.
You know, I could have said he's a wonderful guy.
No. I appreciate you telling the truth.
I never liked him.
I prefer that too as well. And people say, "Oh no, don't speak ill of the dead." No, if you didn't like someone, or you didn't get on with them, you just
never
say
got on. But I never got on with him ever. And I met him loads of times.
Nothing wrong with that.
And he
wasn't.
I never got on with him at all.
No.
A gentleman was in a bar in Derry, Londonderry last night called Sandino's, very popular bar with the people that I appeal to, the younger cutthroat. Sorry, cutting thrust. He had a guitar, a Fender Telecaster, much sought after. It was in the boot of a taxi, and when he got home, he forgot to take a guitar out of the taxi, which indicates to me that he'd probably had a few jars.
Oh, you'll get that.
If you get a Fender Telecaster and you leave it in the boot of a taxi, you remember to take it out.
Yeah.
And he hasn't got the number or even the make of the taxi. He's called a couple of taxi companies, but no one can help. You see, he could be in trouble if it's a wee fly-by-night boy.
No, it's not. No, he'll get that. I'm confident he'll get that.
Well, I hope so, for your sake.
Taxi men here, they're an honest bunch. He'll get
that.
Of
course they are, but there might be a fly-by-night boy.
No way.
Oh, there's no such thing as a fly-by-night boy?
No way.
I could take a taxi out tonight. I could go into my car and sit outside a pub and a boy come out. I could take him home.
You have to. It's all different now. You've got to have plates and
numbers. But who's going to stop you? Who's going to stop you? A man sitting outside. If I was sitting outside, I did that before. I told you about that. I was sitting at home one night many years ago when I lived down beside what is now Craigavon Bridge.
Yes.
Which always was. And I was sitting in the house one night and I think I was just married or something like that. And you know the way you're a wee bit restless? And I could
What do you mean? What do you mean? Explain yourself.
Well, do you know when you get married and you find
you're married and you're a wee bit restless?
No, do you know when you get married and you find you have to sit in every night?
Emma wants to hear the end of the story.
Emma,
you're restless. Go ahead.
Well, do you know when you get married first, it's all great. Then after about a year, you get restless.
What?
No. You have to sit.
No, Emma says no. She doesn't know.
Well, that's what your husband tells you. No, but you see, you're sitting at night. You have a baby, and the baby's lovely and everything. But you say to yourself, God, I'd love to go out, just on my own, just once, and that kind of thing. I don't do the things I used to do, but then you don't do that because you don't do it. And then I remember sitting one night. It was a Friday night. I remember it well, and I had no money. You see, I remember saying to myself, God, I'd love to go out for a wee pint tonight.
You
know, not that I ever drank pints.
No, I know what you're saying. It's a figure of speech.
I'd love to go just sit in a bar and just have a couple of vodkas of my own, look at the TV and smoke about 8 cigarettes. You know, just on your own. Don't want to talk to nobody. I said, I'd like to do that, and I can't do that because I have no money. And the phone rang.
Yes.
The phone rang. I went, hello. I said, taxis? I went, yes. Pick up McGarrigle, 14, and where are you going to? There, across the border. Bridge, across the border. I says, I'll be there in 5 minutes, sir. I get into the car. I drove, I picked them up, brought them down across the border. Give me a £5.
That's breaking the law.
At that time?
No, you have to put that £5 in. Put that towards your charity fund.
And do you know what I did there? I broke the law again. What I did was I went to the nearest bar and I sat outside. I parked the car outside and I had about 3 or 4 vodkas and then I drove home.
I hope you drinking and driving then.
Yes.
I hope a policeman arrives here at Radio Foyle. I hope you can still be charged with that.
This is 20 years ago.
Well, you admitted it. I hope you're.
What is this, retrospective justice?
I would love you to be fined, or else get a month in jail. I want to visit.
He was jailed retrospectively.
I want to see you in jail.
Anyway, you want to see me jailed. I know
There's a man on one.
You were never as happy as when you saw me in the cell in Melbourne jail. Do you remember? Remember I went into the cell. Yes. You couldn't believe it. No. And you tried to lock the door.
Exactly.
I was in with all the death masks of all the people who'd been hung, and you wanted me to stay in there. You said, I'm happy now. You'd try to get the bolt across, do you remember? They
wouldn't let the prisoners see one another.
No.
It was very cruel, wasn't it?
Very cruel.
They wore masks. They hooded them all day long. Or was that just when they went out on the exercise yard?
That's when they went out the exercise.
They wouldn't let them see one another.
That was only the condemned men.
No, it was not.
It was.
No, it wasn't.
Condemned men.
The ordinary prisons, when there was a very small exercise yard, and they just walk around the square. There was no walking at all.
I never saw a man who looked with such a baleful eye at that little patch of blue that prisoners call the sky. I never saw a man with such a wistful eye that looks upon that little patch of blue that prisoners call the sky.
That's great. You should do one of your what do you call it? Quentin Crisp mode there.
Oscar Wilde.
I thought it was Quentin Crisp. That was good.
The man has the.
What about the man?
The man has the feller Telecaster.
I bet you he gets that.
Oh, all right, okay.
I bet you that taxi man. I would say that'd be delivered to Radio Foyle.
If it had been me driving the taxi, it'd been in the pawn shop now. I hope that it will be delivered up here.
It probably will.
I predict. I think you're probably right. Yeah. That will be delivered here. And I want the people out there. Is Janet out there?
Janet's there.
I want Janet to let me know.
Janet will be sitting out there with her legs crossed, playing a Fender Telecaster at 12:05.
As she always does, because you never know who'll come in. Would you please help me say happy birthday to my lovely colleague and friend, Ms. Emma Jane Dunnan. Wishing her many happy returns with good health and peace of mind. Also, if you don't mind, Jerry, would you please play a nice music of your choice for her celebration? Thank you in anticipation. That's a person called Likan Ojo Oki Abasi. Isn't that a great name? Looks African to me.
There's a man waiting to talk to you.
Well, yes, stop, will you? Have you no patience? Why is the Fat Boys' lackey Vinny talking in a neighbour's stroke friend's annoying, persistently inquisitive, intoned accent? Can you answer that?
No.
Why is Vinny talking
Vinny,
like that?
Vinny O'Nolan.
Yeah, he seems to be talking funny.
I don't know.
That song before the news, brilliant. More, please. Mighty Moses, will they be in the studio live before Christmas?
12 minutes.
Excuse me?
12 minutes. John's waiting.
Where is he?
1.
John, I'm sorry for waiting these 12 minutes. It's now 12 minutes and 10 seconds. I'm terribly sorry. I don't know what happened. I don't know what came over me. It's just I've got this diarrhea of the mouth. Go ahead. What can we do for you?
Good morning, Jerry.
Good morning.
Someone at the weekend told me that you're heading to New York.
I'll be going to New York on Friday week.
I might even see you there.
Oh, you going there yourself?
Aye. Why not?
What are you doing there?
Sorry, well, I'm going to do what you're not going to do.
Oh, you're going to run the marathon? No, I'm going to run the marathon.
No, well, someone else told me that you were sort of, taking an odd pit stop.
Well, I'm not at the peak of physical fitness. Let's put it that way.
Well, let's talk about that. Why not?
Well, to be serious...
Now, don't start giving excuses.
You see, you're not going to listen to me now.
Okay,
I can tell that you're abrasive right away. No, I picked up a virus in Europe, in Italy to be exact, around about August, which knocked me out for about 6-7 weeks. I couldn't train. I was told not to train by my doctor. I was told to take it easy because I had a particularly virulent strain of something weird. So I lost about 7 weeks, and by the time I got to the end of the 7 weeks, I realised I was back to square one. So, I was doing okay before that, but I'm all right. I'm not too bad. I'll be able to. I'm going to have a good crack at it, but I don't. I'd be very surprised if I finish it because I'm not an athlete, as you well know, and I would need to be training all the time. So I've only just resumed light training there just last week.
You know you're taking on one of the toughest marathons in the world.
I know that.
How do you know that?
Because I know what a marathon.
Someone told you.
I know, but listen.
Well, I'm going to reassure you.
I know that. Okay. But see, let me tell you this. I'm not there as an athlete. I'm there as a figurehead. So all the people who come along, I've encouraged people to run the marathon, and that's what I'm doing. It's for charity. And all the people who are coming along, well, not all of them, but many of them have been encouraged by the fact that they look at me and they say, "Cheers, boys. If he can try it,
if he can do it, anybody can do it."
But see, this is all money for Action Cancer, which is all good.
So it's
the fact that I'm not fit and will attempt to do it, but the fact that I may not possibly finish it is neither here nor there. The good deed has already been done.
That's right.
You see. And are you going to run it yourself?
Yes, indeed, Jerry. I go most years. To be honest with you, I was going last year for my 10th New York in a row.
Yeah.
Then I took a thing in my feet, which I never tell of, called plantar fasciitis. And I'm not going to talk about that. But anyway, it's gone again.
Talk about plantar fasciitis. I want to talk about plantar fasciitis.
Plantar fasciitis.
What is it?
It's like a spur in your heel. Uh-huh. And I took one on each heel at the same time after I did Dublin last year, which had knocked me out of New York.
Mr. Coyle tells me that you've done many marathons. How many have you done?
Well, I do. Well, in total, I've done 95.
95?
I intend to make Belfast next year my 100th.
Oh, good man.
So I do Dublin every year as well. So I do Dublin I'm doing Dublin next Monday.
Well, you're obviously in mint condition. And
well,
I mean, no man can do 100 marathons if he's not in mint condition. And what age are you, if I may ask you?
Well, let's say I'm not tearing the plucking, Jerry, anyway.
You won't tear on the plucking? What age are you? Come on, spit it out. Spit it out.
63 past.
Good man. Well done.
I've also ran Mizzen to Mount last 3 years in a row.
Well done.
10-day each time. So I'm looking forward to Belfast next year. I'm doing Dublin again. I do Dublin, do New York most years. Then I'm for Clonakilty early December, followed by London, and then Belfast.
Good man.
Well, can I ask a question, please?
Go ahead.
You say New York's the hardest marathon. What makes it harder? I mean, there's 26 miles a marathon.
Mm-hmm.
What makes New York the hardest in the world?
First of all, conditions can make it tougher. The marathon route itself, I mean, let's face it, if you asked me and said to me which marathon would be the easiest one to run, if there's such a thing, I would sort of maybe recommend Dublin. As to Belfast, I'd also say Dublin's a fairly flattish course, which I couldn't say the same about New York. It's very tough. You have a number of bridges in it. You have a bridge there called the Queensborough Bridge, which we go on to at about 17.5, and you don't have anything or anyone near you for about the most of 2 miles. It's not easy. Sorry, Jerry.
You see at the very start, like how will it affect Jerry? Do you think? No, seriously, the man who's he's never. No, I'm not trying to be funny here. Jerry's never. No, he's not running, and he hasn't.
You
been
mean
training.
Psychologically?
Yeah. How do you think Jerry will get on?
There's going to be how many people going to be there at the start?
Well, I'd reckon somewhere in the direction of about 35,000.
And will it get carried along? I mean, like with the people,
you know. Two different starts, Jerry. You'll either be on the top of the Arizona Bridge or the lower tier of it. And if you're on the top bridge, it's very, very funny, I suppose you could say, because it's the bridge is roughly 1.5 miles long. Mm-hmm. And when you start to jog and walk across the top of it, you get off to a good start. And funny, a friend of mine never laughed at it at all with me one year on it, because after they play the American National Anthem, you get the go-ahead. And Frank Sinatra comes over, loudspeakers everywhere singing, "Start spreading the news. It's up to you, New York, New York." And a friend of mine said, I wouldn't fault that. He says, once you get you over the bridge, he said, they knock it off and you're left on your own.
Start spreading your legs. You're leaving today.
But anyway, on the bridge itself, it's like there's a certain amount of movement on the bridge.
You mean?
And you feel like as if, well, I can't say it because I was never drunk, but anyway, that's what they tell me, you feel as if you get some drink in you.
That's a familiar feeling to me.
Well, that's okay. And after that, they say it's once you get over the bridge, you run about 3 miles before you see anyone. And it's also the best supported marathon in the world. They reckon on the streets of New York, after the 3 mile mark, you could at least have 1.5 million people out. It is. And I tell you one thing you will see in it, and you will take it in like myself because I'm into music, and that is the number of bands that play along the route.
I better bring the bass guitar.
Well, funny, I play bass myself, you know.
Yeah.
I played with Hugo Duncan for a number of years.
Oh, don't worry about it. Were you a tall man?
I've done that for my sins.
Were you a tall man?
I was a tall man, yeah.
That's what Hugo's band was called, wasn't it? Hugo Duncan and the Tall Men. Were you in that?
Yeah.
Oh, for God's sake! You've been to hell. You've been to hell and back.
I said that's what I said. I've done that for my sins.
Did he ever pay you?
I hope Hugo's not listening.
Did he ever pay you?
Well, I think eventually.
All right,
I had 2 jobs with Hugo. One of them was playing bass, the other one was driving.
Well, at least you two, as they say, you 2 income streams.
Anyway,
well, listen, do me a favour. Introduce yourself and have a chat with you when you go over there.
Well, okay, it's one of those things. Very hard to see people in because I've often talked to people about going and all the rest because it's so huge. Obviously, we're staying in go with Sports Travel in Dublin, where we stay. And,
you're not going with the Action Cancer people, no.
No, we're going to the New York Hemsley.
That's where I'm staying.
I don't believe you.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Sean's staying in the Bowery. Is it the YMCA in the Bowery? Yeah.
What a surprise. Would it be too late for me to change mine now?
No, I'm staying in the Helms in Manhattan.
That's what I'm saying. Would it be too late for me to change?
No, I'll buy you a drink the night before the race. I'll buy you a large vodka.
A dairy man buy a drink, okay.
All right, then see you then.
That's okay. I'm taking my wife with me, and she's from Derry.
That's all right. I'll buy her a drink too.
That's okay.
Listen, I'll look forward to meeting you. Don't forget now, come up because I won't know you. Will you know me? Do you know what? Well, ask the porter.
Of course.
Okay.
I'll ask for the young fella.
The young lad upstairs.
Okay, I'll do that, Jerry.
Okay, thank you. See you then.
Take care.
Bye. That's a wee friend for me.
Let's see her. Tommy's on too. A wee chum.
Yeah. I like people talk about football to him.
Yeah.
Hello, good morning.
Hello there, Jerry.
Yes, hello.
I want to tell you I'm not going to New York.
All right, then we'll believe that. Yes, okay.
I'm one of those that has to stay at home.
I know it's not easy for us.
I tell you what, you know Dan Gordon, don't you?
I certainly do. Yes.
Red Hand Luke fame and.
No, don't be saying that because he's done many more important roles than that. He's well known for that.
Important role now.
If Dan Gordon goes to his grave and somebody puts on the headstone Red Hand Luke, he'll come back and haunt them.
I tell you what, for those of us that have to stay at home, we have the pleasure of seeing Dan Gordon and his new play, The Boat Factory.
I hear great reports about it.
It's great, but people think it's a lot to do with the shipyard, so it is. But people from all over the country worked in the shipyard, you know. Years and years ago, the trains came down from Ballymena and Portadown and down Patrick and everywhere, and they were loaded with people coming into the shipyard to work.
That's right.
So I'm associated with South Lough Neagh Historical Society.
Yes.
We are bringing Dan and his play down to Craigavon Civic Centre on Tuesday next. That's Tuesday week, on the 1st November at 7:30.
All right.
And it would be of interest to the people of Craigavon who had an association certainly with shipyards. But again, it's history. What Stan's done here is really he has planted history for us. The old shipyards now history, like everything else, you know.
Yes.
We're all going to be history one day, even yourself, you know.
Indeed, yes.
The day come when people say, do you mind your boy Jerry Anderson, or Stroke Anderson, he used to be on the radio.
Remember him.
We'll all be history, you see.
Whatever happened to him.
Whatever happened to him, yeah. But anyway, just to make it public that this great play, The Boat Factory, will be in the Civic Centre at Craigavon this day week at 7:30, and tickets are available in Woolies at Woodhouse Street in Portadown, Wrights at Derry Keevan, or from our office at South Lough Neagh, which is 38852 550.
Okay, hope you get a great turnout.
Now, the great thing about this here, we're only charging half price for this place, only £5 for anybody coming. So what do you get for £5 now?
Nothing.
Nothing, no. But the sad news is it's done in a new presentation we call Theatre in the Round, and it's limited number of tickets because of the nature of the presentation.
Yes, okay.
It's not one of these plays where you draw curtains and there's 3 intervals and people go off and get lemonade and smokes and you come back and you wait and all that. It's a pretty work-through program in the round.
All right then, okay.
And people want to get in now and get their tickets from Monies or Rights or from our office, 388-525-550.
Okay, hope you have a good turnout. So hope you have a good night. Thank you very much.
Right, thank you, Jerry.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. What about those people going and getting lemonade and smokes?
It's very loud again.
It's rock and roll. What do you expect?
Waiting for the bus again, number 21. Drinking from the bottle, it's going down like the sun. Loose change in my pocket, makes the driver curse. Lucky that I'm going out, it couldn't be much worse. Life goes on forever, better in the sun. Summer days are special, but the summer's almost gone. Life goes on forever, better in the sun. Summer days are special, but the summer's almost gone, gone, gone. Some nights we walk the avenue, nights we stay at home, looking for life's answers in our punk rock songs. Running down the alley, laughing down a dream. Talk about all our friends and the lives that could have been. Life goes on forever, better in the sun. Summer days are special, but the summer's almost gone. Life goes on forever, better in the sun. Summer days are special, but the summer's almost gone, gone, gone. I remember when your lights went out long before your time. You were doing everything, I was doing fine. Should have held on tighter, all those things you said. Forgot what you were living for, threw it all away. Life goes on forever, better in the sun. Summer days are special, but the summer's almost gone. Life goes on forever, better in the sun. Summer days are special, but the summer's almost gone, gone, gone.
Perked up the undertone.
Yeah.
That's the Dolly Birds, whom I featured in this program before. That's a good, new release from them. 3 tracks. That's called is it called number 21? I think it is called number 21. Hold on, let me just check. And see me looking off mic there.
Mm-hmm.
It's good for me. Oh no, it's the wrong thing I just brought out. Sorry about that.
A good friend of the program phoned in to say a little tip on how to remove wood chip. This man would be. He doesn't want his identity revealed. He's an actor. That's all I'll say. Okay, and he says that wood chip. You get your scraper and you make big. What do you call it?
Big
scrapes.
Yeah.
Tear. You score. That's the word I was looking for. Score the wallpaper. That's the word. You score the wood chip, and then you get.
I had to stop that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Sean. I had to stop that. You were so animated there that I realised it couldn't go on. You don't mind that, do you? I'm sorry, I had to stop
It's
you.
a very good tip to you.
No. Great show yesterday, kid. A great show which made Senator Stephen Norris drop a small dog he was about to kiss in the mistaken belief that it was a baby. And he said, "By Jove, this great show follows in the footsteps of Joyce Beckett and Cecilia Ahern." The campaigning senator wiped the rain off his glasses with the tail of his shirt, sniffed the air like a pack rat, and carried on with his doomed quest to be the next Irish Presidente. Tommy, my cat, came away from the table where he had been playing snooker with brandy balls and said, "As sure as pigs are pigs, the next Irish president will be Michael Higgins the Little Man, poet, scholar and accordion player, or Sean Gallagher the burly, bald bouncer." "Don't be so sure, my precious pussy," I cried. Dana, wife, mother, and her own worst enemy, might get a late surge. Dana derailed her own train. Dana put the muckers on her campaign and gave the newspapers a field day. "Don't underestimate a late surge," I cried. A late surge can come out of nowhere and astonish the media, who abhor a late surge. "Let me refer you to the night of Eurovision in 1971, said Tommy. Dana, then but a lump of a cuddy, never mentioned a late surge in her lists of all kinds of everything. Snowdrops, daffodils, late surges too. I muttered at last. Tommy was correct. She had mentioned it. Dana had completely forgot, but just before she went on stage in Amsterdam, she included a late surge on her list of everythings, which reminded her of you. "Don't forget Gay Mitchell," I yelled. Gay Mitchell has all the charisma and eloquence of Tom Elliott, the silver-dung devil from the UUP. Do you know who I miss?
Who?
I miss Michael McGimpsey.
Oh, do you?
I've got 500,000 capsules of swine flu vaccination in my garage. Do I hear a tenner for them? 500,000. Sold to the man in the pink hat. Don't forget Gay Mitchell. And there... Tom Elliott. "And therein lies his downfall," said Tommy. "Gay Mitchell and Tom Elliott have been cursed with the gift of bubbling exuberance, exhilarating oratory, and an electrifying rapier-like wit bordering on the unnatural." "You're right, Tommy," I said. "The world is not yet ready for the computer-like quicksilver minds of Gay Mitchell and Tom Elliott." Tom Elliott. Tommy sucked my thumb and said, "What is Tom Elliott up to these days?" "Still leading the UUP," I said. "Still leading them into ever-decreasing crises." "Bummer," said Tommy. "Don't you just hate it when that happens?" I did a reluctant concur.
There's a wee call.
Is there?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
For me?
And then you see once you score the wood chip, you see if you get...
No one move, no one speak. Please don't say that it's just me. It's not just me. And even though I won't forget, just don't want this to end just yet. Not just yet. But if I had one chance to freeze time, to stand still and soak in everything, I'd choose right now. If I had one night where sunshine could break through and show you everything, I'd choose right now. If this is it, all we have, I know I've done all I can. If this is it, and we can't stop and start again, we can't fast forward to the end. This is it. But if I Don't want this to end just yet. Not just yet. But if I had one chance to freeze time and stand still and soak in everything, I'd choose right now. If I had one night where sunshine could break through and show you everything, I'd choose right now. Before the fears that I once had start coming back again.
That's a gentleman whom I'm not familiar with. I think his name is Newton Faulkner. Sounds like he should be in the DUP. Newton Faulkner, that's it. And that's a song called If This Is It. If This Is It. Also, another dog has been found with a diamantic collar. What is going on here? A golden retriever was found this morning in Green Island, is wearing a pink collar with diamonds on it and is well cared for. It was rescued from the traffic. Maybe it was trying to end it all. And someone is kindly keeping it in their house. Golden retriever in Green Island, wearing a pink collar with diamonds on it, well cared for, well nourished. A well nourished white man.
Valerie.
Do you know they used to say that whenever they found somebody's, in America, whenever they found somebody's body, somebody being shot or something, they used to say, a well nourished Caucasian. That's what you are.
No, I'm not.
If somebody asked
I'd
it,
be well nourished.
see if he found your body,
Yes.
outside a pub, and you'd lying there, somebody had stolen your wallet, or they found you had a wallet in your pocket, but it wasn't yours. No, and they would describe you as a white Caucasian.
Well, yes,
You're
fair
a white
enough.
Caucasian.
Yeah, I am, of
A
course.
white, no, but no, sorry, not a white Caucasian. No, that's an oxymoron.
Caucasian.
Caucasian is a white person.
Wait.
You'd be a well-nourished Caucasian.
Yeah.
But you're well-nourished. That means a white Caucasian.
What about Val?
Stop! You don't want to talk about Caucasians.
What about Valerie?
I want to talk about well-nourished Caucasians. Some people here are not well-nourished Caucasians. Undernourished Caucasians. That would be... Who would that be? Who would be an undernourished Caucasian? Your man out of X Factor. Have you seen X Factor? Emma, what do you call the fella that has no body? The guy that sings. He looks like one of the monsters out of Alien, doesn't he?
You watch that program? I can't believe you watch that.
You have to watch it to keep abreast of what's wrong. No, you have to watch it to keep abreast of what's wrong with the people. You see, you've dismissed everything. You've no curiosity left in you.
No.
But you just know, but you don't know exactly. You know. You think you know, but you don't know exactly. You don't know how low the thing has sunk.
No.
You have to watch it to see how low they can sink.
I don't want to know. I just if it's no good, it's no good.
For instance, I've got a backstory. You know what a backstory is?
No.
There used to be a time when it was enough to sing. When you were on the X Factor, even at the beginning, it was enough to sing. It was enough to be good looking and to sing. But now you have to have a backstory.
And you have to be able to cry.
You have to be able to cry. No, but Cheryl Cole invented that. Now everybody cries now. All the judges are crying. You notice that? Even the men are starting to cry because they've all learnt from Cheryl.
But I noticed that when the family backstage, there must be at least one member of the extended
Overweight.
family. No, but must cry.
Yeah, but at least one of them must be really seriously overweight.
I looked at it. What's going on here? What's this?
They're all crying.
A crying competition?
It's the emotion. But you see, but you also must have a backstory, which means that something horrible must have happened to you that you haven't really got over yet.
So what's your... Look, listen, Valerie's waiting for you. I want to know your backstory. Is this a real live backstory?
I can't talk about it.
Well, talk to Valerie.
Oh, the only thing that makes me happy is to sing.
We've got calls waiting for you here.
The only thing that makes me able to carry on is my voice.
I will survive! I will survive!
You see, when I sing, I feel better.
It's raining men!
I remember seeing the show one night, and one of the judges started to cry.
Yeah.
This girl. I don't know who she was.
Cheryl Cole. She always cries.
Was it her?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Possibly.
Well, I'll tell you the story.
She invented crying.
And you tell
that
me.
Was Dana. Dana cried first.
And this girl was on, and she was singing. And,
yeah.
and then this judge said, she says, "You remind me of my mum." That was my mum.
Backstory.
If only my mum
Dead
could
mother.
see.
You're right about my dead mother. Backstory, you say?
What's that about?
Well, unfinished business, you know. There's that girl. You remind me of my mum.
It was Teresa, Jerry says, or Emma says. What? Tulisa.
Tulisa. Oh, you mean recently?
I don't know.
You remind me of me mum. I'm Raining Man.
As she said, she used to hear her mum out the kitchen. Mum were out making dinner, and mum would sing along with the radio, and I would cry. And she wanted her mum just to have one chance of being a singer.
But she never got it.
No. But this girl was her mum. You're my mum up there.
Yeah, what, she 15, was she?
No, she was 42 or something like that. And but this what made the story. This is why she cried. She says, "You mean you're 42,
Same age as my mum,
and you're getting a chance that mum never had."
Yeah, you're crying good.
You see,
I think you could be a judge. But you know what? Do you remember when people say he's a good judge? What does that mean? What does that mean?
I think I'd be a good judge.
No, but what is a good judge? I mean, these people, they're judge. I mean, who are they to judge?
Yeah.
You know, a real judge, you learn to be a judge. You learn the law and stuff. But, you know, I mean, I could be a judge.
You'd be a good judge.
If I was on,
yeah,
and they'd say I was a good judge. What would that mean? A good judge. What does that mean? Do you know what I mean? A good
no, I'm
judge.
saying you'd be a good judge, and I don't
That
know.
means that
I think you've got an ear.
No, a good judge is a judge that people like looking at.
Oh, that's what it is.
That's what it is.
Oh, then they wouldn't like you.
No, they wouldn't like me because people don't like looking at me because they sense the evil inside.
What about Valerie?
Where is she?
One.
Good morning, Valerie.
I'm not a she. I am not a she. Do you see you? You're like two old women.
Well, we are two old women, really.
Flossies. I never like of it.
Sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Unfortunately, I can hear you. Well, go ahead.
I need a word with Jordy.
Yeah, well, maybe it's late in the day. What do you think, Sean?
10 to 12.
Late in the day, is it?
I'm in the wrong room here. The radio's on.
He's usually asleep. He usually pass out by 12. I don't know. It may be too late to get him. Maybe perhaps we'll try and get him. What do you want to talk to him for? What do you want to talk to him for?
I want to talk about birds.
You sound very.
B-I-R-D-S.
You sound. I know how to spell birds. Thank you. I think you're very aggressive now. Well, what's wrong with you?
Brilliant. I have a book in front of me here.
Are you angry?
I nearly know what the birds are, but I want Jordy to confirm it.
Okay, you're angry about something, aren't you?
No, I'm not.
What seems to be the trouble?
I'm angry because you kept me waiting.
I'm sorry, I had stuff to do there. I'd crying. There was crying to be done. I had to cry there for a while. Tell me what you want.
40 wee birds in my front garden this morning.
Yes.
No, not 40, but a flock of them. So size of a sparrow.
A flock. Right.
Yellow tips all across their wings, and a wee red patch on top of the beak on their head.
Sound to me like men who have blown in from Africa.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Actually, they're from, I think it's Canada. I'm not sure what the
Canada? That's a long journey. Especially if there's no direct flight now.
One of them bamboo.
What?
Bamboo trees, shrubs, whatever you call them, in the garden. And there's big white feathery flowers on them, and this is what they were eating.
Oh, see, that's a clever
And
grub.
I looked in the book, you see, and it said that they do eat thistledown.
Oh, thistledown?
I wanted Jordy to tell me if there were these wee goldfinches, would they be here?
Thistledown, isn't that not a restaurant in Warren Point? Oh, no, that's Whistledown, sorry.
Lisburn, hi.
Lisburn City. You're a city woman. So what do you think they are? What does the book tell you that these birds are?
You're cutting me.
No, there's something wrong there with your phone. No, your phone is cutting out, sorry.
Right, go ahead.
What does your book tell you that these birds are called?
Goldfinches.
Goldfinches?
Goldfinches.
Goldfinches. Really?
And they've a funny wee sharp, short, pointed beak.
I know girls like that too.
I tell you, I've never seen the like of them. They're absolutely beautiful.
Well, you see, oh really? Well, maybe they might stay for a day or two.
Do you not like birds?
I love
birds.
You
like a two-legged kind.
No, stop that.
Like with their heads.
I'm very fond of
yes,
my
feathered
friends.
Don't go into that, because don't start me.
All right.
And another thing I wanted to ask Jordy, I haven't seen a blackbird in about 2 years. Through all the summer and nesting season and all this, and I've seen 3 now over the weekend.
Oh, maybe it's something. Maybe perhaps we'll get talking to him tomorrow, and we'll pass on your.
Last time I rung you to give out a request for me, you didn't do it.
What was the request?
It was a request for Granda and Granny Quinn.
Yes.
On the birth of their second granddaughter, and I hope he's listening.
I hope so too.
And if you're listening, Jordy, you give me a ring. Big Jordy, not Jordy.
Big Jordy.
Tough.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
All right.
All right then.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Bill, wanted to talk to you about your music.
I think we could safely say that there's a bit of a bean on that, or some kind of matter.
Would you talk to Bill about that?
Where is he?
He's on too.
Good morning, Bill. Sorry to keep
Good morning, Gerard.
Sorry to keep you waiting, Bill.
I've got to say you're in good form this morning.
I can't say that I'm not. I'm in good form
this morning.
Thank you.
It's just a pity you wouldn't pay a little more attention to your sound levels.
Well, you see, this is an ongoing problem, and it's out of my hands.
Your voice is low, so I have to turn the volume up when the music comes on.
Yes.
The woman next door is complaining because she doesn't necessarily like what you're playing.
Yeah.
Not that I have any objection to your choice of music, you understand, but it's just the music blasts me in one ear and the voice is too low.
That's well, you see, I don't know what to do about that, and I've been pleading with Ken to pay some attention, but he doesn't care. He's too busy booking us holidays.
Well,
so I don't know, and the team
He's
here...
obviously getting paid too much.
The team here are no good. Let me just try an experiment. I'm going to put on a wee piece of music now, but I'm not... You stay there. How loud is that?
That's just nice.
Hold on, it's not
Now,
started
I'm
yet.
listening on the telephone. I can't
Okay.
go near the radio, obviously, or you'll be getting feedback.
How's that? Is that all right there? Can you hear
Yes,
me?
that's fine.
But see, that's not loud enough for me.
Yes, but you don't have to hear it. It's your poor, offended listeners that have to listen to this stuff. The people who are paying the...
Oh,
your
stop.
money,
And
you
the
know,
license fee.
100,000 a year that you're
Oh, I'm getting a rise. Well, listen now. I let me just say to you that there's been much talk about this past week or so. Negotiations are underfoot. There are things are being done. Ken is being tortured by being beaten across the kidneys by a rubber hose to try and make sure that this thing doesn't
You know
happen again.
something? You sound just like one of our politicians.
All right then, your point taken. I'll run it up the flagpole, see if it flutters. Okay, thank you.
Okay,
bye. Bye. Did you hear that get louder on its own there? Did you hear that get louder on its own?
Well, did that get loud on its own?
Yes, it did. I want to know how that happens. That level, I checked the level with that man, it was great, and I put it on, and then it suddenly got louder on its own. Now, can I control that? That's somebody in Belfast making it louder. Somebody who doesn't like me.
No, everything's got very loud in here. Microphones and all have got very
It's
loud.
because people are fiddling about. It's beyond our ken.
Beyond our ken.
what I did there? Beyond our ken.
Yeah.
Don't forget, we were talking about the marathon. You can still contribute to Action Cancer by logging on to www.justgiving.com and follow the instructions. Just put my name in, but my money doesn't go to me. It goes to Action Cancer. And we'll be reminding you tomorrow about how to attend our concert in the 20th of November here in Derry, Londonderry. We welcome people from all arts and parts, even from Pettigo. Why did I say Pettigo?
I don't know why. I've never been.
Pettigo's a wee town in Donegal on the border. Yeah, people are welcome from there as well. Yeah, of course they are. When I said people from Pettigo are welcome.
Do they have a market in Pettigo? How do I know Pettigo?
Pettigo Market, Pettigo Market, Pettigo Market. Pettigo. Don't forget to listen tomorrow for another riveting programme full of nothing. The number to ring if you want to contact this programme for any reason, 08459 555 678. Don't forget, snail mail still operates. Write to Jerry Anderson, BBC Radio Foyle, Foyle.
So, you see...
Look, you should hear me giving the address.
Once you score the wood chip, this is the important part.
And there's nobody up here fiddling with the volume. It's 12 o'clock. This is Talkback with Wendy Austin.